The elevator doors closed before she could stop them, and the man inside never moved. Amara Hayes is a Black senior brand strategy consultant who crossed an ocean for this job. Kang Global Tower in Seoul, all glass, all silence, all untouchable wealth. She was already late on her first day, heels striking marble fast, nerves pulled tight beneath a camel coat. But she was carrying something heavier than ambition. Her father disappeared 7 years ago. His last known employer, Kang Global Group. The man waiting inside the elevator had no name tag, long black hair, a coiling serpent tattooed on the side of his neck. He said nothing. She teased him, told him she had never seen anyone look so serious in an elevator. He still said nothing. Then the elevator stopped between floors. 3 minutes. Just the two of them, suspended somewhere between the lobby and the top of the world. She left without catching his name. She walked into the boardroom for her orientation. Every person in that room stood up, and the voice at the head of the table said something she was not ready for. Before starting the story, comment down below where you are watching from and what time it is there. If stories of karma, love, and hidden truths move you, leave a like. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click join to become a member and help our channel. The cab lurches to a stop 4 blocks short of the tower, and the driver turns with an apologetic shrug that means nothing because Amara is already out of the door, tote swinging, heels striking wet pavement in a rhythm that forces calm she doesn't feel. Kang Global Tower rises ahead of her, black glass, 42 floors, the name cut in brushed steel across the facade. She has studied photographs for 3 months. Standing in front of it is different. Her chest does something she refuses to name. She thinks of her father briefly, the way she always does in unfamiliar cities, sideways, so the thought can't settle. Then she moves. She stops at the base of the entrance steps. One hand finds the strap of the tote. She rolls her shoulders back, squares her jaw, breathes out slowly through her nose. The braids fall forward with the movement. She lets them settle. A woman walking past glances at her briefly. Amara holds the stillness until the woman is gone. Then she climbs. The lobby is pale marble and controlled light. A security desk runs the length of one wall. Assistants move in efficient clusters, badges catching the overhead glow. The air carries something expensive, cedar and cold ventilation. She crosses the floor at exactly the pace of someone who has been here before. The visitor badge takes 4 minutes to process. She checks her watch twice and stops herself before a third. Her new hire packet was supposed to be waiting at the front desk. It isn't. The attendant looks up from the screen. "Name wasn't loading," she says in careful English. "One moment." Amara smiles while the system catches up. Expression easy, the way she has trained herself to look when everything is already calculated. The packet arrives in a sealed envelope with a handwritten note clipped to the front. Orientation begins at 9 a.m., 42nd floor, and it is already 8:54. She signs the form, Amara Hayes, Senior Brand Strategy Consultant, slides the packet into the tote, and walks fast toward the elevator bank. The public elevators are clustered at the lobby center, all showing delays. 12 floors, 7 floors, a group of interns blocking the third car with an equipment cart that hasn't moved. She cuts left toward a narrower corridor she noted on the building schematic she memorized 2 weeks ago. A single elevator, matte black doors, a brushed steel panel. Private executive access. Her clearance card should work. It does. The doors open. The man inside is already there. Tall, long black hair, a suit that sits like it was built on his frame. He stands facing the doors straight ahead, one hand resting at his side. A neck tattoo climbs above his collar, a coiling serpent interlocked with a chrysanthemum in careful black ink line work, the serpent's head curling just below his jaw. She takes it in for exactly a second before she steps forward and presses 42. The doors close. The car rises. Silence fills the space between them like something deliberate. Amara watches the floor indicator. The numbers climb. 4, 5, 6. Then the car decelerates. It stops with a soft shudder between 7 and 8, and the overhead panel flickers once and holds on dim amber. She counts to 3. I was already running late, she says, in case the universe needed a goal. Nothing from him. Not a shift in weight, not a glance. She tilts her head slightly. I'm told that was funnier in my last time zone. A beat. Then the corner of his mouth moves. Not a smile, something just before a smile. And he looks at her for the first time. His eyes are an unusual light brown, almost honey at the edges, and they hold steady in a way that is the opposite of casual. Your last time zone, he says. His English is measured, unhurried. New York. She keeps her voice even. 14-hour flight and a cab driver who took the scenic route. He turns back to the doors. The car will reset in 3 minutes. She lets the answer land, adjusting the tote on her shoulder. 2 feet of elevator air between them. The floor indicator holds at 7. You work here? She asks. Yes. High floor? High enough. She tilts her chin toward the tattoo, just the gesture, not pointing. That's deliberate ink for a business setting. He glances at it briefly. So is your watch. She almost smiles. There is something deliberately unhelpful in the man that she finds, against her better judgment, faintly interesting. She faces forward and studies his reflection in the polished door panel, the line of his jaw, the way the tattoo rises above his collar. He watches the doors. She looks away before he can catch her watching. I'm Amara, she says. Not a card, not a title. He gives her nothing in return. The amber light dies. The car shudders once and resumes. Numbers climb. 9, 10, 11, and the ride continues as though nothing interrupted it. By the time the doors open at 42, a woman in a fitted monochrome suit is already waiting, tablet in hand, name badge reading Hannah Park. Miss Hayes, orientation is ready. Amara steps out. She glances back once, instinct, not intention, and the man is still inside, facing forward as the doors draw closed on him. She follows Hannah down the corridor, the envelope tucked under her arm, heels quiet on cool stone. Somewhere in this building, on a server she cannot yet access, are 12 years of subsidiary filings and one name she has carried since the day her father's phone went silent. And she has exactly 30 days to find it before anyone realizes she is looking. The boardroom doors are already open. The orientation room holds 12 people when Amara enters, and the noise drops in a way that has nothing to do with her. He is already there, not seated, standing at the head of the conference table, with the stillness of a man who has never needed to announce himself. She recognizes the suit first, then the black hair, then the tattoo above the collar. The man from the elevator. The one who said nothing, watched everything, and let her walk out believing she had won something. Every person in the room rises. Amara stays standing, still gripping her portfolio, and meets his gaze across the length of the table. He looks at her once, brief, total. I know exactly who you are, Miss Hayes. No inflection, no performance. That is why I hired you. The room resettles into chairs. No one reacts, which means this is simply how Kang Tae-jun sounds, the voice of something already decided. She takes her seat and opens her portfolio. An HR director begins speaking. Amara writes nothing, sits with her pen pressed flat against the paper while the sequence reassembles. The posting that found her, the panel that already knew her slides, the package that arrived before she asked. She had attributed every advantage to her record. He built the door, left it open, waited. A woman approaches her in the corridor outside. Blunt-cut hair, measured steps. Miss Hayes? She extends a card without warmth. Hannah Park, Director of Operations. I oversee new consultants. I look forward to working with you. Amara pockets the card. Hannah holds eye contact one beat too long. I'm sure you do. She walks away without turning back. 3 weeks pass in the architecture of routine. She learns the building, clearance floors, assistant schedules, which access requests get logged in real time. She takes 3 brand accounts and delivers clean, efficient work, giving no reason to look harder at her. She maps the informal hierarchy within the first week and finds 4 gaps where information moves without oversight. Hannah Park sends feedback with the precision of someone scoring an examination. So Min-ho materializes at corridor junctions without explanation, never addressing her directly. She catalogs both without acknowledgement and keeps the real work separate from the visible one. On a Tuesday afternoon, she pulls subsidiary filings for the Indonesia account's regional entity map. The data is layered and dense. She works quickly until a registration code buried in a metadata field stops her. KG Meridian Capital, Seoul, 2009. Dissolved, 2014. The name is unremarkable. The 9-character reference string below it is not. She has seen that sequence before, in her father's notebook, handwriting she memorized the week before she left Chicago, on a page he never explained. She closes the file, opens it, copies nothing. Her hands are steady, her breathing is not. She reopens the entity map and continues as if nothing has shifted, and the screen shows only work. The chrysanthemum is white, single-stemmed, resting on her keyboard when she returns from the copy room at 6:47. No card, no water. The outer petals are still tight, which means it was placed within the hour. She stands in the doorway and scans the floor. 2 colleagues remain, both turned away from her. The cleaning staff arrives at 9, no earlier. She picks up the stem, holds it for a moment, sets it in her water glass and returns to her screen without looking at it again. She asks no one about it that evening. Tae-jun is already at the conference table when she arrives the next morning. Jacket off, documents spread before him. No gesture toward a chair. She sits. You requested this meeting. You pulled the full subsidiary tree yesterday. He slides a folder across the table. Which means you found Meridian. I have a new assignment. Amara opens the folder. KG Meridian Capital is on the cover sheet. Rebranding a dissolved entity. Reviving it. He sets down his pen. Next quarter, hospitality division. I want full strategic positioning, regional rollout, consumer re-entry narrative, complete framework. Meridian was dissolved in 2014, she says. Rebrands work better with distance. Consumers forget. She looks up. His light brown eyes are already on her, patient in the way of someone watching a clock they wound themselves. What did they need to forget? Operational complexity. He turns a page without looking away. Relationships that no longer serve the parent company. What kind of relationships? The silence runs 4 seconds. Not uncomfortable, calibrated. That is a brand question, Miss Hayes. Something moves at the corner of his mouth, not a smile, more deliberate. Which is exactly why you are here and not someone else. She closes the folder. He stands, which ends the meeting. She crosses to the door. Miss Hayes? She turns. The subsidiary tree. His voice carries no shift in register. You went 4 levels deep on Tuesday. It is not a question. Due diligence, she says. It is within my scope. He looks at her for an unhurried moment. Of course. He returns to his documents. Close the door. She does. In the elevator descending, she stands against the back wall and watches the floor numbers fall and understands, with cold precision, that she is not the one running the investigation. She has been watched since before her first morning in this building, possibly longer. The file, the flower, this morning's performance of a routine meeting, none of it is a warning. It is an invitation. And she is already inside. The conference room on the 42nd floor fills before she arrives. Amara walks in at 8:54, portfolio under her arm, heels quiet on the polished floor. 14 faces turn. 6 are international partners, 2 from Frankfurt, 3 from Singapore, 1 from Dubai, all pulled in by Kang Global's expansion pitch. Tae-jun sits at the far end, neither watching her nor ignoring her. Hana stands at the projection wall, hands clasped, posture immaculate. "We're ready when you are," Hana says. Amara plugs in her drive. The first slide loads and something catches at the edge of her vision. A number in the bottom right corner, a figure she does not recognize. She draws a slow breath and steps forward. 3 weeks of work, 17 data models, 46 competitive indices rebuilt from source documentation. She knows this presentation the way she knows her own name. She begins. The first 2 minutes are clean. Market overview, regional entry risk. The Singapore partner leans forward, a good sign. Then the Frankfurt delegate raises a pen. "Your penetration estimate for the Southeast Asian corridor, 4.3%? "Correct," Amara says. "That contradicts your own appendix." He lifts the printed deck Hana distributed before she arrived. Appendix C shows 11.7. Her eyes go to the slide, then to his document. They are not the same. The room shifts, not loudly. A chair adjusts, a pen clicks twice, but she feels it the way a hull feels the ocean floor before contact. She clicks forward. The Jakarta Consumer Index is wrong. The sourcing footnotes cite reports she never used. Someone reached inside 3 weeks of work and changed the bones while she slept. Miss Hayes. The Dubai partner, quiet and measured. Perhaps a short recess. "There's no need," she says. Her voice holds. That is the only thing she still controls in this room, and she will not give it up. She clicks back to slide 1 and stands fully upright. There are discrepancies between the projected data and the printed materials. I'll need to identify the source of the divergence before we continue. The Frankfurt delegate sets down his pen. "These figures were emailed to us last night for pre-review." Last night. While she was still at her desk at 11 making final revisions, someone else was sending partners a doctored version of her work. Tae-jun has not spoken. He watches her the way he watched her in the elevator. That same calibrated stillness, total and patient. Hana steps forward. "Perhaps I can help locate the correct files." Her tone is flawless, surgically, precisely concerned. "I have the correct files," Amara says. But the room has already done its calculation. 14 people in a glass box 42 floors above Seoul, and the verdict is reached before she finishes the sentence. It does not matter that she is right. What matters is standing here with 2 conflicting data sets and no explanation that survives this audience. The meeting ends in 22 minutes. Formal courtesies, rescheduling language. The Singapore partner shakes Hana's hand on the way out. No one shakes Amara's. She walks to the window. The Han River holds the morning light below, flat and gray and vast. She breathes through her nose and counts until the room clears. When the last footstep fades, she turns. Hana is still there, gathering printed decks from the table with methodical care. "We'll have time to sort this before the rescheduled session," Hana says. "These things happen with complex data sets." "Whose email address sent those files last night?" A half beat. Then, "I'll check with IT." Amara watches her leave. The door makes no sound at all. Back in her office, everything is exactly as she left it. The coffee cup from this morning, the handwritten index taped to the monitor. Proof that she sat here and built something real, and someone waited until she was finished to dismantle it in public. Her phone buzzes against the desk. Unknown number. The message is short and carries no punctuation. "Leave Seoul. You will not find what you are looking for. You will only find what happened to him." She reads it twice, sets the phone face down. For 3 months she built a theory. Her father's death tied to buried transactions, buried subsidiaries, 12 years of financial architecture running beneath clean corporate surfaces. She came to Seoul because the evidence pointed here. She took this job because she believed she could move through it invisibly, consultant by day, investigator in the hours between, untouchable as long as no one identified what she was actually looking for. That theory collapsed in a glass room 42 floors up. Whoever sent those files last night did not react to her. They prepared. They studied her work over weeks, replicated its structure, corrupted its data with precision, distributed it to international partners before dawn, and let her walk into the room without warning or exit. This was not containment. It was a controlled demolition. And it was clean enough that every person in that room will remember it as her failure alone. She thought she was the hunter. Her father vanished in Seoul 6 years ago. Officially, a boating accident on the Han. No body recovered. The inquiry closed in 11 days. She never accepted the timeline. She never stopped pulling at the threads he left behind, the coded notes, the subsidiary names, the transfers that went quiet the same week he did. Now she looks at the phone on her desk and understands, for the first time, that she may have been wrong about the thing that mattered most. Not about the evidence, not about the connections. She was wrong about the shape of the danger. She believed the risk was in what she might find. The message says otherwise. Whatever is buried here was buried by people who knew how to wait. They let her arrive, let her settle, let her spend 3 weeks building something she was proud of, and then they burned it in front of an audience. That is not a warning from someone afraid of exposure. That is a demonstration from someone with enough reach to reach her anywhere on this floor, at any hour, without leaving a trace. Her hand is steady when she picks the phone back up. She scrolls her contact list, stops at a name, then keeps scrolling, past every number she trusts, and finds nothing she can safely use. She pockets the phone and stands. The door to the hallway is 30 feet away. Behind it, somewhere on this floor, Taejun is in a room, and he already knows what she is going to do next, because he has known every move she was going to make before she made it. Amara walks through the door. At the far end of the hallway, 2 of Taejun's men are escorting Hana Park toward the service elevator. No raised voices, no resistance. Hana moves with her hands at her sides and her eyes straight ahead, and the only thing marking this as anything other than a quiet departure is the badge reader she passes without stopping, her clearance already gone before anyone said a word. Amara watches until the elevator doors close. Minho appears at her shoulder. Conference room, he's waiting. She goes. The room is small by this building's standards. A table for 6, 1 window, the city below gray and indifferent. Taejun is standing when she enters. He waits until she sits. She clocks it, files it away. Minho positions himself near the door. Taejun sets a folder on the table. Plain manila, the spine worn soft at the edges, handled many times over many years. He leaves it closed. He places both hands flat beside it and looks at her. Your father's name was Hayes, David Elias, financial investigative consultant. He disappeared 7 years ago. A pause. You know that part. Tell me the part I don't. He does. The rival network had been embedded in 3 of Seoul's largest conglomerates for nearly a decade before Kang Global began dismantling it, quietly, without courts, because the courts were compromised too. Her father had been tracking the same network from the outside. His research, compiled over 2 years, documented the same financial channels Taejun's own people were severing from within. He got close enough that they moved against him. Not Kang Global, the network itself, the same people who sent Hana Park to replace Amara's files 3 days ago. Taejun found her father's research 7 years ago. He kept it. Why, she says, not quite a question. Because it was evidence. Because he was right. Taejun's voice carries no warmth and no apology. And because no one I could have handed it to would have kept it intact. Minho, at the door, has yet to move. His jaw is set in a way she has seen before on people carrying old, unspoken weight. Minho. She says his name without turning. You knew. The silence answers first. Then he speaks. 7 years ago, I carried an order that stopped an internal investigation into what happened to him. He strips it clean of any embellishment. I told myself it was outside our scope. It was easier to believe that than the alternative. No one responds. Taejun keeps his eyes on her. I hired you because your father's methodology was the most precise outside analysis we had. Because you had positioning inside that boardroom that my own people couldn't reach without surfacing themselves. And because every operative still embedded in this company would move when they saw you walking these halls. He stops. They moved. Hana moved. We have everything we need. He slides the folder across the table. Amara opens it. Her father's handwriting is on the first page. Dense margin notes, the same shorthand she remembers from legal pads left on the kitchen table when she was 12, watching him work while pretending to do homework. The same habit of underlining twice when he was certain. He had been certain about all of it. She closes the folder. You used me, she says. Measurement, not accusation. Yes. No apology stacked after it. And I owed him a debt I had no other way to clear. She holds that. Outside, the city continues. A siren fading east, a plane crossing the window line and gone. She takes the folder when she leaves. The dismantling takes 11 days. No press release. No arrest logged in any public record. 3 board members resign citing personal reasons. 1 leaves the city without announcement. The financial channels her father documented are severed, transaction by transaction, the way you extract a hook without tearing flesh. Taejun moves without headlines because headlines would have warned the last of them before the doors closed. Amara's professional record is corrected. A statement from Kong Global's communications office, precisely worded, attributes the presentation discrepancy to internal sabotage now under investigation. Her contract is reinstated. Her billing rate is untouched. She reads the statement once, sets her phone face down on the hotel desk. Her father's file sits open beside it. 68 pages. 2 years of his life reduced to columns and notations. A rigorous argument that turned out to be correct. He never got to know that. She holds that fact the way you hold a stone. It never gets lighter, but eventually you learn its exact shape, and your hand stops shaking around it. She books a flight home. Then she cancels it. She constructs no clean reason for staying. The work is unfinished, and she is the only person in this city who can read her father's shorthand. And there is a man who runs this empire with absolute control and has never once claimed to be something other than what he is. And she finds that harder to leave than she expected, which is its own inconvenient answer. Taejun sends no invitation. One message arrives. A satellite office address, a project name, a start date. No appeal, no explanation. She reads it twice. Justice in this world does not announce itself. It closes a door somewhere quiet, and a file bearing her father's name finally rests where it was always supposed to go. And a woman who came to Seoul for answers picks up her bag and walks back into the building with both eyes open. She stays. If this story moved you, stop for a moment and reflect. Have you ever walked into a dangerous place carrying a secret, only to find that someone there already knew? Have you ever trusted the one person you had every reason to fear, not because you had to, but because something in you simply could not look away? Tell us your experiences and feelings in the comments. We read them all. And if you believe in stories about buried truths, dangerous loyalty, and love that arrives disguised as a threat, leave a like. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click join to become a part of our community and help the channel.